welcome back to another episode of Spilling Studio. My name is Sam, and this week we have 7 ARE practice questions designed to help you pass your next exam. We have 1 question per exam topic and a bonus question at the end, so stick around. First up is practice management. During construction, a subcontractor is injured while installing a standing seam metal roof. AIA document A201 was used for the project. The subcontractor files a claim against the architect for the injury. Which concept protects the architect in this scenario? Betterment, privity, implied duties, or standard of care? Feel free to pause here to answer. The answer is privity. If you watched last week's video, then hopefully you got this one right. Privity protects the architect from third-party claims. Third-party claims means someone the architect doesn't have a contract with. Privity is only valid if the architect does not provide any means or methods, has not implied any responsibility for construction of the project, and if the architect does bring attention to obvious safety issues. Remember, never tell a subcontractor what to do on site. You must only speak with the general contractor, also known as the GC, and always put it in writing. We don't want any he said, she said, or rather he didn't say or she didn't say. Betterment prevents the architect from paying for items that would have been included in the project. This concept can be used in a variety of ways. Some of them are claims of omission, mistakes that do not violate the standard of care, and owner-directed changes. I linked an AIA document in the description that covers all the ways that betterment is used and provides some really good examples that helped me with understanding this concept. Implied duties covers architects' responsibilities that are not explicitly stated in the contract. Some of these are cooperating with contractors, not interfering with the contractor's work, giving relevant information to the contractor, and assisting the owner with coordination, like helping them coordinate schedules and responsibilities of contractors and vendors that are not under the general contractor's control. If you've gone through grad school already, hopefully you've heard of the term standard of care. It's what a prudent architect would do in the same location, during the same time period, and under the same circumstances. This concept holds the architect liable for their actions, but does not require perfection. Now on to project management. An owner has asked an architect to submit a proposal for the design of a new hotel. The height of the building is unknown at the time of submission, but the number of rooms is known. What compensation method should the architect use? Percentage of construction, unit cost, stipulated sum, or fixed fee? Pause here to answer. And the answer is unit cost. In the unit cost method, the architect's compensation is based on a predetermined unit cost per room or another relevant unit. In this case, the known quantity is the number of rooms. The architect and the owner would agree on a cost per room, and the total compensation would be calculated by multiplying this unit cost by the number of rooms. The construction cost percentage method bases the architect's compensation on a set percentage of construction costs for the project. If during construction the cost of work increases or decreases due to change orders, then the architect's fee is adjusted in proportion to that change. This method is not typically used today since it incentivizes the architect to keep construction costs high, and a small project that costs less may require the same amount of effort and detailing from the architect as a larger, more expensive project. Since the owner does not have a defined scope, this would not be the best option. Without a defined scope, construction costs cannot be estimated. With a stipulated sum or fixed fee, yes, they're the same thing, the architect agrees to provide a specific set of services for a predetermined fixed fee. The fee is typically based on factors such as the project's complexity, size, scope, and expected level of effort required by the architect. Since the owner does not have a defined scope, this would not be the best option. Next up is programming and analysis. What percentage of the gross building area should be assigned to mechanical rooms? 1 to 3%, 3 to 5%, 5 to 9%, or 9 to 13%? Pause here to answer. The correct answer is 5 to 9%. Mechanical room sizing varies based on several factors such as building type, function, design, and local building codes. The general rule of thumb is to allow 5 to 9% of the total building area. Mechanical rooms house various equipment such as HVAC systems, pumps, boilers, chillers, and other utilities. These systems can require a significant amount of space. I know when I was in studio, I never showed a mechanical room in any of my floor plans. Maybe in grad school, but let's hope I did in grad school. But it's common to place mechanical rooms on the ground floor due to weight and vibrations of the machinery, and to place them next to at least one exterior wall for ventilation and access. Now on to project planning. Refer to the roof detail below. Which of the following is pointing to the cant? A, B, C, or D? Pause to answer. And the answer is B. So this detail actually came from my first re-roof project that I ever worked on, and that is when I first learned what a cant is. So a cant is a three-sided strip that is placed where the roof deck intersects with the wall. Adding a cant to a roofing system is very important. It helps seal the edge between the wall and the roof, and it sheds water away from that joint. Cant strips are typically made of wood or insulation. The very top piece is metal coping, which is a bent sheet of metal that creates a continuous cap over the parapet. It provides an extra layer of protection against elements, and it looks better than exposed roofing in my opinion. The coping is held in place by the anchor clip, which is the funky looking bent metal just beneath the coping. Below the cant is rigid insulation. Rigid insulation reduces heat transfer between the interior and the exterior of a building. It also provides a stable and even surface for the installation of various roofing systems. The roofing system in this detail is SBS modified bitumen. A brief pause to remind you that I post new questions every week, so please hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on a video. It also really helps me out, so thank you. Now on to project development. What type of wood does the IBC allow a reduction of 1/2 of the dead load due to its low moisture content of under 16%? Fire retardant treated wood, dry lumber, seasoned wood, pressure treated wood. Pause here to answer. And the correct answer is seasoned wood. Seasoned wood has a moisture content of less than 16% at the time of installation and is used under dry conditions. The seasoning process removes moisture from the wood to improve strength, reducing shrinkage and warping over time, and it also minimizes dimensional changes. Because so much moisture has been removed, the wood is lighter and easier to work with. There are two main methods of seasoning wood: air drying and kiln drying. Air drying is a traditional method where freshly cut wood is stacked and exposed to natural air. This process takes several months. Air drying is a cost-effective but relatively slow method. Kiln drying is a faster, more controlled method than air drying. Wood is placed in specialized chambers or kilns to heat the wood and accelerate the evaporation of moisture. Kiln drying allows for precise control of temperature and humidity, resulting in a quicker and more uniform drying process. Seasoned wood is commonly used as trusses, beams, columns, and for framing. Dry lumber has a maximum moisture content of 19%. The process for drying is the same as seasoned wood, but the moisture content is higher. Similar to seasoned wood, dry lumber is used for structural design, but it is commonly used for furniture and cabinetry. Pressure-treated wood is infused with preservatives to enhance resistance to decay, insects, and other environmental factors. For this process, wood is placed in a pressurized cylinder and it's introduced to chemicals that penetrate the wood fibers. This type of wood is commonly used in outdoor projects. Fire retardant treated wood has been treated to reduce flammability and improve its resistance to fire. Fire retardant chemicals are applied to the wood through pressure impregnation or surface coating. The goal is to slow down combustion time to allow occupants more time to evacuate the building in the event of a fire. Next up is construction evaluation. A new building is currently under construction. The contractor discovers a sanitary line that was not documented on the survey. The issue requires immediate attention to avoid delays and additional costs. What should the architect's initial action be? Instruct the contractor to proceed with work and document the conditions for later resolution during project closeout. Request a change order from the contractor to address the unforeseen site conditions, including a detailed cost breakdown. Investigate such conditions, and if the architect agrees, recommend an equitable adjustment to be made to the contract sum or time. Consult with the owner and prepare an agreement outlining responsibilities and additional costs associated with the unforeseen condition. Pause here to answer. And the correct answer is investigate such conditions, and if the architect agrees, recommend an equitable adjustment to be made to the contract sum and/or time. This question comes straight from AIA document A201. If the contractor encounters unforeseen conditions that are not noted or that are different from what is stated in the contract documents, then the contractor must notify the owner and the architect no later than 14 days once discovered. The architect will then investigate the issue and determine if it's different from the contract documents. If it is, the architect will recommend an equitable adjustment be made to the contract sum or time. Last but not least, our bonus question is, an architect is designing a new community center that aims to achieve LEED Platinum certification. During the initial design phase, the client emphasizes the importance of incorporating sustainable design features. Which of the following strategies would be most effective in aligning with the client's goals for sustainability? Specify materials with low life cycle costs to minimize initial construction expenses. Incorporate energy-efficient HVAC systems to reduce long-term operational costs. Design an aesthetically pleasing building envelope without considering its impact on energy performance. Optimize the orientation of the building to maximize natural daylight opportunities. Pause here to answer. And the answer is optimize the orientation of the building to maximize natural daylighting opportunities. Did this question get some of you? Well, there's a very important part of the question that helps eliminate all but one choice. The question is asking about the initial design phase. The only option provided that relates to the initial design phase is the last one. Be careful when reading questions for project planning. Super little things like that can be the difference between passing and failing. When I was testing for project planning, I remember multiple times where I could boil it down to two possible answers, and most of the time when I went back and reread the question, there was something in there that made it obvious what the answer was. Right? Because none of these are completely wrong. Well, except for the pleasing building envelope answer. So if that happens to you during testing, look for some clues in the question. It just might help you pass your next exam. That's our questions for this week. Remember to check out the description for links to some of the AIA contracts covered in this video. I've also linked some of my favorite study books, so go check those out. Let me know in the comments what subject areas you're struggling with, and I'll do my best to cover it in the next video. As always, thank you for joining. Please subscribe, and good luck on your next exam. You got this.